Today we're going to talk about the rumble roller and a little bit of myofascial release that you can do at home. There are a few pieces of home gym equipment that I think are invaluable, and the rumble roller is one of them. It's a version of the more popular foam roller. Usually the dense foam roller is a universal color, and it doesn't have the ridges that the rumble roller has on it. And there are a few different options in between the regular foam roller and this one on the market. But this one is, as far as what I know, the more aggressive one that you can purchase. So I want to go over how to actually use this. It's very different. I find it's most beneficial with more trigger point work rather than foam rolling. The biggest complaint that I hear is that it's really uncomfortable and it's really painful. It should have that good hurt feel to it. It shouldn't be exceedingly painful though. If you do find it really painful, you may be using it incorrectly. So we're just going to work on the calf, and you can apply this to really anywhere on your body. I find that this is really best at the calf and lower leg, quad, TFL, IT band where it meets up with the quad and the hamstring and the glute. Those are the areas that I find it easiest to work. You can still work the shoulder up into the rotator cuff as well. We go over all this in our module 2.1.1, the flexibility and mobility. But today we're just going to go over the calf just so you can get an idea of how to actually use it a little bit differently than the foam roller. So you'll notice it's got a lot of ridges. What I like about it is that the ridge has a point to it. Other people use lacrosse balls, tennis balls, golf balls. Those are all great options as well, but I find that they have a bigger surface area, and that will limit how deep it can get in between muscles and in between muscle fibers. So I like the rumble roller just because it has a point to it. Because of that can be why it can be a little painful. So here's your calf coming down. You have two heads here that come up and attach right underneath the knee. And your Achilles tendon, which is a common area of overuse injuries, Achilles tendonitis, and even with plantar fasciitis, any foot pain, we always look at the calf as well. So if you are having some plantar fascia pain or Achilles tendonitis type pain, or just tightness in the calf overall, this whole chain always work together. So what we're going to do, and we're going to work really slowly, so I can feel the ridges right along here, and just going to let it sit. If you want to add a little extra oomph, you can cross one over the other. I'm not going to do that. But what you want to do is find those good spots and then work the joint that is below where you're working. So in our case here, we're working the calf and Achilles. And so you're going to move the ankle. And what that's going to do is it's going to put that muscle through a range of motion. And it's really going to work those trigger point areas. So I'm not actually moving the rumble roller a lot. You can still do this with a regular foam roller, or the trigger point, the orange trigger point, has a little bit of texture to it as well. But I just find that nothing really gets in there like these little knobs on the rumble roller. And you'll notice that it's really slow, very controlled, and I can actually feel that letting go every time I work it. I'm just going to work up into the calf. There we go. So what this is doing is it's adding some compression, and then you're adding a little tension through the range of motion, and it's really going to get in there, break up some of those adhesions. You can follow this with a series of stretches for whatever body part that you're working on, in our case the calf and the foot. And I like to think of the rumble roller as breaking up all of the restrictions, and then a nice prolonged stretch is really going to lengthen the tissues. You can see I already have more range of motion in my ankle. My years of running. So it'll take me, when I'm working on, if I'm working IT band quad, it can take a good 15 minutes to do one pass up the leg. It's that slow and that controlled. So what a lot of people would like to do is just roll it like this. You don't think that that's really going to help it too much. You want to really utilize the tools that you have here, and you've got some good trigger point options. So let's just go through what this is going to be good for. Any runners, any walkers. I see a lot of women that wear heels, and a bad combination of women that are in business and wear a lot of heels and that are also runners, because when you're wearing those heels, the calf is going to be contracted. It's going to be shortened on the entire time that you're wearing those heels, and then you're going into running and having a repetitive motion that's going to require that calf to work in a range of motion, and you're only going to be using what you have available to you. And those heels really shorten the calf, which gives you less range of motion to work with. So this is going to be something just to work out for the day and for your running. As we said before, anybody with plantar fasciitis, any Achilles problems, and even if you're having some stubborn hamstring issues, working into the calf with this is going to help. Yeah. I gotta finish it. You can stop it for a second. How is that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that really does help.